Hi, everyone. So we're just going to go through some of the orders of the prayers of the first night of Rosh Hashanah this year. It's on a Friday night, so we do say part of Kabbalat Shabbat. And on this Siddur, if you guys have this, this is the Orivi Ishi Machzor, the English Hebrew one. On page 60, there's a Psalm, Psalm 81. We say for the leader upon the Giti, the Psalm for Asaf. Some people say Yimloch also. If you're by yourself, obviously you don't need to do the Kaddish, and you say the bracha. We start Arvit. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher bidvaro. In your word, you make the evenings come, and that blessing finishes Baruch atah Hashem ma'ariv aravim. Then we say Ahavat olam, everlasting love. You have loved us. Baruch atah Hashem ohevet amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, Hashem. We love your people Israel. We sing the Shema Yisrael. Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. We say the whole Shema. Then we continue, V'emunah, Hashkirenu. First night this year, Rosh Hashanah, is on Shabbat, so we do say V'shamru. We say Uv'yom simchatechem, on the day of your rejoicing, Uv'moadechem, V'roshei chodshechem, on your festivals and your holidays, Utkatem b'chatzotzrot alolotechem, you should sound trumpets over your burnt offerings, azivchei shalmechem, the sacrifices of your peace offerings. Vayulachem zikaron lifnei Elohechem, ani Adonai should be a remembrance before your God, and I'm Hashem. And we start the Shmoneh Esrei. So we add in Shmoneh Esrei certain parts, especially Rosh Hashanah through Yom Kippur. First part we add is Zochreinu lechaim, melech hafetz chaim. Remember us for life, the King who desires life. Write us and inscribe us for your book of life, for your sake, living God. And then we add in the second, that was in the first blessing. In the second blessing, we add, who is like you, merciful Father, that you remember your in compassion, remembers your creatures for life. Then we start the third blessing, but it's different. Instead of finishing it so quick, it keeps on going. It changes. This is on page 73 in the Oriv Yishi Machzor. It says, Lador Vador, for generation to generation, all generations, we proclaim God's kingship, for he alone is exalted and holy. And we keep going. These are the added prayers that we add on Rosh Hashanah. Inspire Hashem all over all your works with awe of you, that they may have fear of you, all your works, and revere you. Every creature should know God, not just human beings, but animals. And in a sense, animals respect God more almost than some human beings, because they respect their nature, where sometimes when people commit, God forbid, bad deeds, they're going lower than their nature. We know, God, that dominion is yours, power is in your hand, and might is in your right hand. And it continues that we ask God to bring Messiah, and that the righteous shall see and be glad, and all the deeds of wickedness should vanish already. People shouldn't be doing these things anymore. And Hashem should reign. We ask Hashem. And this is on page 74, but finishes this third blessing, which comes much longer. We say, Holy are you, Hashem, v'norah shemecha, and revered is your name. There's no other God besides you, as it is written, Hashem, the God of hosts, will be exalted in judgment, and Hashem, who is holy, shall be sanctified in righteousness. And we finish, Baruch atah Hashem. And instead of saying, Ha'el HaKadosh, like we usually say, the Holy God, we say, HaMelech HaKadosh. These are the only 10 days of the year that this blessing in the silent prayer changes from Holy God to Holy King, HaMelech HaKadosh. Then we say in the second part of the night prayers, Atah Bechartani, you have chosen us from all the peoples, you have desired in us, you have uplifted us from all tongues, you have sanctified us with your commandments, you brought us closer to your service, our King, and your holy name has been called upon us. You've given us this day in love. And then we say Ya'aleh v'yavod. It's on page 76. On page 77, we say, please Hashem, reign over the entire world with your glory, and be exalted over the entire earth with your splendor. And keeps on going. And we finish the blessing of the Rosh Hashanah for the Amidah on page 77, 78. And the blessing finishes, blessed are you, our God, our King. You are the King over the entire universe, and you sanctify Israel. Well, we will say the first night, the Sabbath, because it will be Sabbath and Rosh Hashanah. Shabbat, Israel, and the day of remembrance. And this, we go down to the ending part of the Amidah. We add Uchtov L'chaim Tovim Kol B'nei B'ritecha, inscribed for good life all the children of the covenant on page 79. On page 80, we add in the middle of the Sim Shalom, We add in the book of life, blessing and peace and good sustenance and all these things. That's added into the Sim Shalom blessing. And then we finish Shemona Esrei on page 81. We will say on page 82, because it's Friday night, Shabbat, we will say Vayechulu. And then we say on page 85, we do say Mizmor LeDavid, Psalm 23. We do say Psalm 150. And then on page 86 is Psalms 24. Psalm chapter 24 is a prayer for sustenance. And usually in the synagogue, we open the doors of the Hechal, the ark where the Torahs are held. And that's on page 86 in the Order of Yishi. On page 87 is a request after that we say, may it be your will, Hashem, that you act. And we say, and I will pour out for you a blessing, Hashem says, that shall be more than sufficient. And from the verse, lift up the light of your countenance upon us, Hashem, that you inscribe us in the book of prosperity and sustenance this year and every year, us and all members of our household with abundance and generosity, without hindrance, toil, or trouble, with ease, calm, tranquility, and security, so that we may be able to engage in holy service in sanctity and purity without travail and merit a livelihood free of shame or reproach. May we not be in need of gifts of flesh and blood, but only from your hand, which is ever open and holy. Cause us to find success and achievement in all our studies, deeds, and activities. May our homes be full of God's blessing. May we be satisfied with bread, and may all be well with us. Amen. So may it be your will. And that concludes the prayer of prosperity and sustenance and life. On page 89 is Aleinu, page 90, and then that concludes the evening service for the first and second nights of Rosh Hashanah. The second night, we just only omit the Sabbath parts, and we add in the Amida, the part that's separating from Shabbat to the second Yom Tov, to the second day of Rosh Hashanah. And then Kiddush, the Kiddush is on page 94 in the Ori V'ishi. On Friday night, you add the parts for Shabbat. They are omitted on Saturday night. So that's the Kiddush on page 94, 95 in this Siddur. And on Saturday night, you add the Havdalah and the Kiddush. So the sign is first the blessing on the wine for Saturday night. The sign is first the blessing on the wine, then the blessing of the Kiddush. Then we do Havdalah on the candle, the Ner. Then we do the blessing of, so that's Borei Mor Ha'esh, that you create the lights of the fire. Then we do the blessing of Havdalah, which is going from Shabbat to Sunday, but that's the second day of Rosh Hashanah. And then you do Shechianu, and Shechianu is recited both nights. Then we wash our hands for the bread. We say Hamotzi on the bread. And then we start doing the signs, the symbols on the table. Some people do dates. That's the Iraqi custom. That's for Tamar, which means to end God forbid, the bad things. Then some people do Luvia, which is black-eyed peas or string beans or fenugreek. And we say that our merit should increase and that you purify us. These requests are on page 97, 98 in the Ori Yishi Siddur. And then we eat leek. We say the word of leek in Hebrew is karti, that you should cut off our enemies, those that hate us and who desire to do us harm. Because why do they want to do bad? Come on. Then silka is beet. So whoever has beet on their table, we say, may it be your will. That is Shistalku oiveinu, our enemy should disappear. Again, those that are just in the bad, that they should just go away. Then some people do kara, pumpkin or gourd, and they say like kara, that's in Hebrew to tear up the evil decrees. The next one is a sweet pomegranate. We all know that one. May we your will, Hashem, our God and God of our fathers, that we be as full as good deeds, mitzvot, as a pomegranate is full of seeds. Some say there's even 613 seeds in the pomegranate. So, and then we do the apple dipped in honey or sugar, that you, Hashem, we say, may there be a will that you renew us this year, good, sweet, and honey. And then those who have a head of a sheep or a fish, say, may it be your will, Hashem, our God, that we be as the head and not as the tail, that you recall in our favor the binding and the ram of Isaac. That's if you have the sheep head. So that's God remembers that merit. The next one is if you have a fish, then you say, merit our merits like multiply as a fish, and that concludes the evening services for Rosh Hashanah. Thank you.